you know what I realised yesterday?
What?
Being an adult in a supermarket, I realised you don't need a special occasion to buy a cake. So I bought a cake yesterday. Just a sponge cake. I was like, I want a cake. I don't need a reason to buy a cake. So I bought one. Cheers.
Hola, bienvenido a nuestro podcast. Me llamo Josh. Aquí soy tu presenta.
You shouldn't have done the Me Amo Josh yet. So I guess Me Amo Tyler. Josh, that was amazing. It's fully Spanish. I guess, we discuss everything from video games, animation, and digital drawing. You're Josh. You've already introduced yourself.
Soy tu primera presenta. Josh.
And I'm just using English. I'm just English-speaking Tyler. You can go back to English now. How have you been, buddy?
Muy bien. It's funny because, disclaimer to our listeners, I do have a cold, so that gives me the dulcet tones of like Sean Connery. Hello.
Oh, awful. Sounds awful.
So I do apologise if you do hear me coughing and spluttering. But yes, I've been very well. I have been doing a lot, and by doing a lot, I'm trying to get my words out to think of how I was going to word this. But I've been playing a little indie project, little indie title, little studio. Yeah. It's a very good game. I won't go into too much detail about it because Tyler's a peasant.
Not finished it.
Hasn't finished
I did
yet.
also get it way later.
Your issue. So it is very good. It is. My hot take is it's not as good as the first.
Josh
one.
hasn't said what the actual game is yet.
I have Spider-Man 2. Good
Obviously.
Point, yeah. Spider-Man 2. Yeah, I've been playing that. I've been watching a lot of animated stuff. I've been
Like what?
I want to say, is it Laserhawk?
It's Captain Laserhawk, a
Captain
Blood
Laserhawk,
Dragon
yeah.
remix.
Yeah, I thought it was like Blood Dragon, Laserhawk. I've been watching Laserhawk, which foreshadowing we are going to be discussing today.
Yes, spoilers.
I'm trying to think when the last time we recorded and what I've been up to. Oh, I turned 32.
I was going to say we've had a birthday on the podcast, the very first birthday for Code and Colour, and unfortunately had to be Josh. Bit annoying, but
that's cute.
No. Yeah. So from the Code and Colour family, which is at the moment just us two, and I'm going to put Bulbasaur in this because he's here. Happy birthday, Josh!
Thank you. He was at the party. So it was
hardly a party. We went for a meal. It was a lovely meal.
It was
nonetheless. Yeah,
very good.
Very good.
Very good. But other than that, I've been doing some drawing. Yes, that has been one of the things. I've been doing a lot of Spider-Man in my downtime, which sounds wrong. And in my free time, traveling to work and with the train times and having downtime at work, I've been doing a lot of drawing. And then when I get a spare minute, which sounds like I have a lot of free time, I've been watching Captain Laserhawk, so that has been me.
You've been a busy boy.
Last week, yeah, I've been. Do you know what? I've been in all pools.
Good.
Drawing, animation.
You're not often always doing too much, so it's nice to see that.
It is. It was. Yeah, it's been.
Last question for you: do you have any fun prospects for being a 32-year-old, in terms of anything to do with Code and Colour, of course?
Do I have any fun prospects?
Yeah, things you'd like to achieve in your next year of life in the world of Code and Colour.
Oh, I have.
Somebody bought you a really cool present for, Oh, we haven't spoken about. I'll talk about that in a minute, actually. But Procreate Dreams is coming, and I've basically pre-ordered that for you.
Yeah, I've got something cooking.
Oh, that's a term. Fair enough. Fair enough.
I've got something cooking. Tyler will find out about it, but
I should hope so.
Yeah.
As your co-host, I should hope.
I've got good things lined up for Code and Colour, and it's cooking. And he's like,
all right,
what is
Walter White.
this? Yeah.
yeah, I do need to know now, but I'll find out. I'll find out. Right, sweet.
Eventually. But yeah, I'm excited. We've got Procreate Dreams coming, and there's so many things. We've got the new year, and
we've got Procreate Dreams coming.
We've got
Sorry, Josh.
We've got the prospect of foreshadowing that we may, big if, pipe dream, go live at some point.
Whoa. It's too soon to be announcing that. But
It might be.
Maybe. Who knows? We'll see what happens.
You know what I mean? We enjoy what we do, so, let's see if we can, go to the next step.
Let's see if Josh can keep it together in real time.
Oh, yeah. That's my biggest fear.
Yeah. We'll be putting a lot of beep.
Yeah. When we were talking about it, me and Molly walked over and she went, "Oh, we were thinking of going live," and that's Josh's worst fear.
That is Josh's worst nightmare. Yeah, I think. Yeah, no. But we'll talk. We'll delve into that later.
Yeah. So how have you been? And what do you want to talk
As always.
about? Oh, we need to talk about that.
Not too shabby. I've been good. What have I been doing? I've been up to quite a lot. I haven't really been drawing apart from our drawing challenge. I keep going through waves at the moment of just like feeling uninspired. So it's okay. I'm kind of not taking it personally this time. It is just one of those things. I don't think I can always be constantly drawing. But something I will work on. I'm approaching the 1 year anniversary of me starting to draw. Which is next week, and I think I remember mentioning this to you. I'm going to redraw my very first drawing, which is the window one that I did ages ago. So that's going to be something that I'm hoping to have done by the next episode that we record next week. I've been enjoying the drawing challenge. I've been rewatching, and I actually want to talk about this quickly. I've been rewatching the very first sort of Indigo League Pokemon series, like the very first animated series, and there are a lot of things that I'm like, wow, that is not there's a lot of guns, right? A lot of guns in it, which are, there's an episode where Tentacool and Tentacruel start mind controlling human beings and Pokemon to try and take over an entire city. So that happened. Some real dark stuff going on. I wonder if it's very reminiscent of a time that it came out, which was 1997. I think it came out.
97.
Lots of like red flags coming up. I was like, whoa, okay. I don't know if this is acceptable for a kids show, which I think is very reminiscent of a time. So I've been watching that. Josh, something you have forgotten to mention. So obviously it was Josh's birthday, and I've had his birthday present sorted for a long time. Prior to the Procreate Dreams thing, we went to see Spider-Man in concert last week, which Josh forgot to mention. So by that, what I mean is we went to see the first Spider-Verse movie accompanied by a live orchestra. I don't know about you, Josh, but I thought it was fantastic. So
it was clearly memorable. So my apologies to begin with. It was very good. I really, really enjoyed it, and I'm not running at full capacity, so I apologise that I forgot about that. But it was very good, and I thank you, Tyler, for taking me to see that.
You're very welcome. But it was amazing and ruined me because I now never want to watch a film, certainly those films, without a live orchestra ever again.
I definitely you think about what films could be good in it.
Honestly, we have thought about it a lot, but it just really adds to it. Like, I don't think you appreciate the music until you actually see it happening, which is pretty cool. And I've never been to anything like that, and I've always wanted to. And seeing it for one of my favourite films ever, it was amazing. And I've been playing Spider-Man too. Not as much as Josh has. He's already finished it. I am taking my time because I do that. But then obviously, just as always, playing Fortnite. There's a new season coming out on Friday. We're going back to chapter 1. We're going back in time 5 years. I'm very excited.
I would give you a tiny bit of advice for Spider-Man.
Play
it. Well, there is that play it, but there is. If you can really determine the game's difficulty by how much you spend like leveling up your guy. Like, you can, I barely leveled up my Spider-Man, and the game was like semi-hard, But like, if you just do like loads of side quests and like get everything like OP,
which is what I do.
Yeah, which I think is honestly the better way of playing it, because there's so many like rage quit moments where I'm like, oh my god, this person's so hard, and it's because of like I'm like fighting a person, we'll say, a thing, a person, whatever it may be, and I'm like, god, why is this person so hard? And it's like because I've got like level 1 everything, and I'm like 3/4 of the way through the game. Like,
yeah, no, it's not feasible, is it? It's not a game designed to just rush through the story. Like, there are lots to do in terms of side quests. And yes, you know, it falls under the trap of being an open world game with repetitive side quests. That is a thing, right? But it is fun. I'm enjoying it. Because I play it on the PS5, obviously, because it's the only way you can play it. I have my Spotify on, and I keep listening to the Spider-Verse soundtrack whilst I'm flying around. I'm loving it because it comes through the same headset. So I'm like, this is great. It's one of those things where I'm like, if this music had an option where you could listen to music, like where it looks like one of the two or both of them listen to music while it would be amazing. Like, how with Sony, who also own, you know, most of the music in the world, not license music into this game? I just don't understand it. But yeah, so I've been playing that. But yeah, quite a lot. So we've got a bit of a big episode this week. So the way we left things last week, Josh and I had set a drawing challenge, and we're going to go through that quickly, and then we're going to go and dive into, as Josh mentioned, the recently released Captain Laserhawk series, kind of break down the Ubisoft like intellectual property attached to it, and maybe the do's and don'ts of adaptations, and comparing it to another show that Josh and I have both seen, which is Arcane. So before we get into that, obviously we'll get into the drawing challenge. So Josh, shall we get into it?
Let's get into it.
So, the drawing challenge. So a quick brief of what it was. The challenge was to draw an animated character, or just a character, that was disproportionate in some way. And we were to design a character for a fictitious character for a project. I've done one for one of my TV shows that I've written. Josh, I don't know what yours is. I'm sure you'll explain it when we start. So yeah, and that was to do it. And then we also did a mood board, so we could kind of compare, like, we did some research around it. Full disclosure, Josh and I have already showed each other the work, so we're not going into this blind. But Josh, why don't you talk about yours? We'll be putting it on the screen for you to see.
Is this chap right here,
who is on the screen now.
There we go.
Yeah, love it. Love it. So sick.
He is. I don't know what to describe him. I wanted to go for something alien. I wanted to go for something abnormal. I was like big hands, big legs, small torso. I wanted to do dreads. I gave him blue eyebrows, and he had lots of cybernetics attached to him, and I kept adding things to him and giving him like a spear, and I wanted like a tribal warrior on like a distant planet, and I just thought that if I'd like moved away from like human sort of characters, I could make something a little like more alien, more reptilian kind of thing, and for that I wanted to go like more tribal and more. I wanted to do like a background where it was all multicolored and pinks, turquoises, and blues, and I got like purple grass. And I just sort of like went down that route and sort of shaded him out, but it was just I was very carefree with it, and I wanted to sort of like just embrace it.
He looks cool, to be fair. I love the detail on it. The skulls, I really like the skulls on it. And the cybernetics, they're insane. Like, you've gone in and done like really like minuscule details on it, which is just commendable. Actually, I'm impressed. Actually, very impressed. Not that I wouldn't be anyway. But Josh, why don't you talk us through kind of where you pulled some of your inspiration from?
So this was all pulled from my mind. Not a lie. This was pulled from Pinterest. Is my best friend.
Any characters you kind of looked at?
So I wanted to go for like, I started off originally going for like humanoid animal characters,
Yeah.
And sort of like different postures and stuff, and big arms, tiny legs kind of thing. And then I went through, there was another pin that I had, similar sort of aspect, like, you know, animal sort of characters, you know, big arms. Oh, hang on. Back on that. Let me just roll over here. Can you see that? Yeah, you can.
They'll come
And
on.
then-
We'll put some examples on the screen for everyone to see.
Yeah. And like different, just like, I like to sort of like have exaggerated proportions because I just think that they do them so well that
Yeah.
I think that being realistic is. I've sort of gone out of the realms of everything needs to be super, super hyper realistic for it to be art. You can have big arms and you can have a tiny torso and you can have small legs and you can be short, you can be tall, you can be whatever you want, as long as it's painted right and looks, you know, like you've put your effort into it. It can be something that's like you can hang on your wall. And really turn the corner with it.
No, I really like it. It's super interesting design. Yeah, I love it. It's very you. I could see this being the sort of character you would design. It's giving Avatar meets Aquaman.
He also has no nose.
No, I've noticed that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a creative decision. Nice.
Yeah.
I like it.
I was like, Dread's covering his face, but I was like, no, actually, I wanted him like Gore the God Butcher, like in the comics. He's literally Voldemort, like that, like.
It is a very sinister look, isn't it?
Yeah,
that you kind of knows.
I like.
Yeah,
it.
no, I like it. Fair play. Love it, Josh. Always killing it. Love it. Your character designs is definitely one of your strong suits, and I think you've done a really good job on this one.
Thank you.
I love it. So my one. I've designed, so I have written a animated TV show for a project, based on a project that I did at university called the Superhero Experiment. Always loved the idea of it, and I've written it into a fully fledged universe. And one of the characters in it is a woman called Carla Leland, and she has the ability to transform into various animals. And in this picture, I'll show you. You've all seen her before, Josh. There you go. She'll be on the screen now. So in this picture, she has her like paws, because she can turn into a leopard. I've made them really like fluffy though, like furry, on this particular image. And her eagle wings, because she can also transform into a giant eagle. And then I kind of wanted to give her sort of a more, like, she's just a human, so I've given her a very kind of casual look. Like, she's wearing a beanie, she's wearing like a polo, some like leggings and some Converse. And I really went in on the details, like on the trainers and stuff like that. Apologies, I don't actually have my iPad, so we're doing this on my phone. And yeah, so this is how she came out. I think, genuinely, for the first time I've ever really designed an original character other than the Star Wars ones we've done, I was really impressed. I think she came out super well. So yeah, so that's my character. A few of my influences, I based it on multiple sort of characters. So the actual what she looked like, I based a lot of her on Mrs. Incredible from The Incredibles.
Thick.
She's got she has a smaller waist and kind of curves outwards, and yeah. Very hourglassy kind of shaped body.
I hear you. Say less. I hear you.
I also based her on the lead character from Kipo and the Age of the Wonder Beasts, nice. Because she can also turn into a leopard, and she has pink hair in that show. And I've kind of, yes, it's a different shade of pink, but I've also given my character pink hair. And the other one, kind of for the more the style that I went for with this image, is I based a lot of it on sort of a lot of Superman's artwork, which, you know, anyone that knows me knows I'm not a fan of Superman as a character, but a lot of the artwork is amazing. A lot of the blacked out like cell shading, I just thought it was really cool, and it kind of really helped emphasize the sort of dark tone that I'm going for, whilst having that very cartoonish approach. And it just really helped emphasize the kind of shaping of this character. And yeah, so that's what I went for. That's her. Go for it.
So I have some thoughts.
Please.
Because you complimented my drawing, and I realised that I need to, I do.
You don't have to, but
I do.
Thanks.
I love the small waist. I love the shape of her legs being round and thick like Mrs. Incredible. I love the fact that you've sort of simulated the fact that her knee's sticking up, and it looks like her knee's sticking up. The shading on the wings, and also a bit of cross-hatching, like it, a bit of texture.
Yeah, that was something I'm trying to play with cross-hatching at the moment, trying to get familiar with it. It's kind of working, but I do think I overdid it on the wings a little bit.
You've also deeply shaded one side of her face, which I actually really quite like that. It gives that ominous presence. I also, and it doesn't get talked enough, I like your background. I like the fact it's just some simple squares with a few square windows in it, and it just breaks it up. And she's
I appreciate that. I'll be honest, I struggle with backgrounds still to this day, so I just didn't know what to do. But thank you, I guess. Yeah.
We also didn't talk about the paws. Now I'm big into my animal-human hybrid things. Those look straight off a leopard, and I'm quite jealous. They're very good. So hold your head up high.
Honestly, they're my favourite feature of this. Yeah. I think them and the trainers are my favourite details of this entire picture. Yeah, I'm really pleased with how she turned out. She looks exactly like I wanted her to look like. Yeah, she's cool. Carla was one of those characters the three main characters of it. From this sort of style, I've drawn another one, but I'm not as impressed with it as I am this one. But yeah, she was one of the ones that I thought would be more difficult. But one thing I'm sort of realising is I think I find it easier to draw female characters than male ones. I don't know why that is.
That's definitely a you thing, though.
That is definitely a me thing, because I just like powerful female characters.
You do, though. Like in Starfield, female character. Like
everything is even my Animal Crossing character is a female.
Honestly,
I just like female characters.
If Petra Parker could be a playable character in Spider-Man, it plays female Spider-Man. Yeah.
I mean, they should have a Spider-Woman in one of these games. I'll be so over it.
I'll tell you. It's not even a spoiler because it's not a thing. But like Spider-Man 3, give me Gwen Stacy.
Yes, honestly, yes.
Give me Gwen Stacy.
Spider-Gwen needs to be in this game.
Yeah, give me Gwen Stacy. Spider-Man 3, whatever you decide to do, which I know what you're doing, which is fun that I know, but give me.
I will play it, and I need to play it.
Don't
get me wrong, I love Peter Parker and I love Miles Morales, but I would love them.
There's nothing to say that will or won't happen, but just give me Gwen Stacy and let me bounce around in ballet slippers with that colour scheme from Spider-Verse. Thank you.
Yeah.
Eating good.
Yes. That's Carla Leland. She can also transform into a shark, but I didn't know how to incorporate a shark into this image, so I didn't. It doesn't make sense for her to be a shark in this pose, so I didn't do that.
She could have had a shark's tail, but again, that would not make sense if she's flying over a city.
Yeah, no, I just did the bear claws and the leopard claws and the wings.
You could have deeped it. She could have had gills up her ribs.
I did think about just doing a fin, on her legs, like a couple of fins on her legs. But again, I didn't know if it would make sense, so I just left it. I didn't know if it would come across like it was a part of a costume rather than a fin. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I plan on drawing more of these characters, but I need to finish the other one. My kryptonite is a character, right, called Frank. Frank Leland, who is her brother. And he is just he wears a jacket, like a denim jacket kind of vibe, with a hoodie, and that's it. That's all he. But I can't seem to get him right. No matter how hard I try, I just cannot draw male figures. I don't know why. Yeah, maybe I should just make all the characters female.
Do whatever you want in 2023.
Anyway, that was great. We did really good. I loved that challenge. Hopefully, you feel like you've overcome why we started this in the first place. Which was, because you've made a really cool piece of artwork and it's different. It's not proportionate to the way that it would be a normal person. Because for me, no one's got a waist like that, and for you, no one's got green skin.
I have actually had the bug today. I have wanted to draw But
I've
what
got
I want to draw.
ideas coming up. So yeah, I think let's do it. Anyway, we've spent a lot of time on this, so let's get into the meat of what we're talking about today. So yes, Captain Laserhawk. For those that might have seen it, it's a series on Netflix. It's only 6 episodes. It is worth a watch, but doesn't come without its problems. I enjoyed the show at a face value for like the action, but I think if you look at it from more of a critic side, which we will be, you might not be so much of a fan, or you might be. Who knows? But we will be spoiling it. So, Josh, should we get into it?
Let's get into it.
So, this week, we're kind of going to take a little bit of a dive into adaptations again. We're seeing more and more of these trends lately of video games being adapted into sort of animated movies or TV shows. Obviously, this year alone, we've had sort of Super Mario, and of course, Captain Laserhawk. Previous years, we've had Arcane, which we will be looking into as well. And kind of looking at both sides of the coin with this one, because some do it well, some don't. So, why don't we start with Laserhawk?
Oh, I was thinking we should start with Arcane.
Okay, let's start with Arcane then. So, Josh, I mean, you've watched it more recently than I have. Arcane is obviously based on the League of Legends game.
Yeah.
Which neither of us have played.
No.
But I think we both come away from that going, I wouldn't mind knowing more about this property.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I thought Arcane was one of the best things I've ever watched.
I've told you. I told you.
And it pains me to say that. Because
Why?
I have to admit the title was right.
It doesn't. It pains him because I'm right, not because it's actually a good show.
Oh no, it's 100% because the title's right. Because I can sit there and look at his smug face. Oh yeah, I watched a TV show and I recommend it.
It's almost like I know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. Do you know how many times I've heard that? It was unreal.
I think we've all learned it on here.
Yeah. So I watched it, I was enthralled, I loved the animation style, and I actually texted Tyler halfway through because I was trying to keep it a secret for so long. Like, oh, what are you watching? Oh, I'm rewatching, I don't even know what I said. What was I rewatching? I was rewatching Puss in Boots, and I was like, oh, I really want to do 3D animation. And I texted him, like, oh, we should do 3D animation. He was like, we should walk before we can run. And I was like, but Puss in Boots looks so good. Like, but I was watching Arcane.
Yeah, he was like, we should make some 3D animation. I went, Josh, we can't even 2D animate.
Yeah. I was just like, oh, because, Puss in Boots looks so good, Arcane.
I mean, Puss in Boots does look.
It does. It does, but as I was watching
let's
Arcane,
not take away from the hard work that those creators put into that film.
Yeah, it does. Like, the Last Wish was a great film, but like, not even a but like, yeah. Arcane itself it's just different. Like, it's one of those projects where I don't know, like, I always akin the projects like that to like Rocksteady or Insomniac's first Spider-Man. Like, when Rocksteady made the first Batman, they came in, they went, well, we'll make a Batman game, and everyone was like, whatever, this is, yeah, alright. Insomniac went, nah, we've made Ratchet and Clank, we'll make a Spider-Man game. And both them studios went, we'll make the best Batman game, we'll make the best Spider-Man game you've ever seen in your life. And then this studio who came in to do Arcane, as well as I think it was the actual game studio itself did work closely with them, it just understood exactly what they needed to make.
They understood the assignment.
They understood the assignment. They knew what it was, and like, they made compelling characters. They made female. They made, and
say it, Josh.
And they made strong, independent female characters who knew who knew exactly what they wanted. Didn't need no man. Without Disney crap, like, not harping on about woke sentiments or any sort of other things. You had a female protagonist who had an issue, had a family that she needed to look after. Her family had died right at the beginning. You knew the stakes. You knew that she was coming from the slums, and you knew what was happening there to steal to survive. and like all these characters were in and out, and like people would die, and you'd be like, oh, who is safe and who's not, and the chess pieces would move all the time, and you were like, right, what's going on here? What's going on here? And you were always guessing, and it was so compelling that when they did like a time jump halfway through, and you're like, oh, I want to see where this character is, and then when she eventually turned up when she's in the prison, spoiler, cracks someone in the face with a food tray, and you're like, oh, that's Vi, and she on paper is not how would I say it? Not a compelling character to look at, in a sense. Would be like she's not
her physical attributes aren't what make her a desirable character.
Yeah, like she's not Belle from like Beauty and the Beast. Like she's not like, oh,
they're all a bit underworldy, rough around the edges.
Steampunky, yeah. She's got scars all over her. She's a brawler. She has got bandages on her arm. She's jacked.
I think Vi is cool as hell though.
She is amazing. She's an amazingly written character. She's phenomenally voiced. Then there's I can't remember.
It's Haley Steinfeld, isn't it?
I believe so. Yes, it is. And
our very own Gwen Stacy.
Yeah, and then you've got a sister, Jinx, or Powder, as it were. Two different sides of the coin. Young Powder, older Jinx. The yin to her yang sort of thing, and like trying to get her sister back. It was just phenomenally written. It was phenomenally animated. And then there's I'm really upset I forgot her name. The one with the blue hair.
Is it Caitlin?
I think it's Caitlin. Well, she was badass as well. And it's 3 strong female leads to a show that's got an abundance of hardcore male characters in it, which, there are male characters in it. It is Caitlin. That are leading their own sort of stories. You've got the guy that's in the council, and that's a testament to the show. To be fair, I do like the character that's in the council. I can't remember his name, but he's outshined by Caitlin, Jinx, and Vi because they're so well written that I'm just like, yeah, what's happening next? It's adult, it's gory, it's like a espionage, like a gangster thing. It's coming from it gives me like a Gangs of New York vibe. Like coming up from the slums, I want to take that territory, and then it's like political in a sense, and there's all these like different plates that are spinning. And the real thing that sort of like, and I am ranting about this because it's such a good TV show, is
he's got it covered.
Is the fact that it's it made me like want to check out League of Legends as a property. And fundamentally, when you're putting something out there that is a subsidy of whatever it may be, and a good example of that is and it's not animated, unfortunately, but it's the one that just popped straight into my head, is I'm a big John Wick fan. And they brought out a TV show called The Continental. And I was like, yeah. TV show about super spies controlled by, like, the Illuminati of, like, the world, and people getting popped off every now and again. I'm there for that. Did it help the TV show at all? No, it did not. And I could say that about half the Marvel projects as well. Like, they're not helping the overall thing, not. And for me, League, it was not even on my radar. It came, it went, it disappeared. Arcane didn't have it just didn't have that thing for me. It was just like, I'm gonna watch it as a TV show. When it finished, I was like, have I missed something like phenomenal? Have I just missed the boat because I've just
exactly
sort of, like,
the way I felt as well.
Yeah, and I was like, what is this game? Like, what is it at all?
I think, it was one of those things where it's so. If we can break it down from a sort of an adaptation kind of point of view, it seems like the creators for this show love and care about the property that they're adapting. They've taken the time to invest in the lore and find a way to translate that onto into a TV show. The characters, whilst most of them, it's a show built in heavily on violence. Like it's not light on the violent angle in this show. It's built entirely on that angle. It also, these characters are not nice people. There's not a single nice character in this show, bar maybe that Caitlin. She's nice, right? But they're all pretty awful people. But you just really you end up rooting for a lot of them. And I think that, like, the characters alone, like, I was so invested in the characters. And I think what I also found myself really invested in is, obviously, you know, yes, it takes place over 3 arcs. You know, there's 9 episodes split into 3. And they all had self-contained multiple stories intertwining at once. And there was usually, whenever I watch a show where there's multiple characters and there's different storylines, I tend to find myself thinking, I don't care about this story. Go back to that one. I want to know more about them. You know what I mean? But in this show, I found myself being invested in every single detail of this show. What's Silco up to? What are the guys at the college up to? What's Vi and that up to? You know, I was like, oh man, I just wanted to know every single detail of this show, and I immediately finished it going, where is the second season? And I think another thing that, you know, helps with this show, although this is very similar to Laserhawk in this respect as well, but I think the way Arcane does it better, this show was in development for a long time. 6 years. It started development in 2015 and it came out in 2021. So, you know, that's testament to the amount of time and effort that's gone into a show like this. And the animation is just next level. Some of the best animation for a TV show I've ever seen. And I just think a show like this, you know, it was definitely a show that was heavily slept on. You know, Josh and I didn't watch it for 2 years after it came out, and we both loved it. I don't remember hearing enough people raving about it, and I think that might come down to the fact that it's League of Legends. It's a very niche thing. You either love it or hate it with LoL, I think. So I don't think people are just gonna. It's not for a casual viewer kind of show, but it should be, because it kind of, very similarly to kind of what Last of Us were trying to achieve, it presents that beautiful world and story to a different audience, you know, to an audience that aren't gamers. Because there's a magnificent story to tell within this League of Legends universe, and I was gripped from the very first episode. It's harrowing, but also so invigorating at the same time. Like, I was enthralled watching it. I think it is the way to adapt a video game, respectfully. It is one of those that I feel like they didn't skip out any details on the lore, and they've taken the time to just, like, make a great show. And what's also good, and Josh will hate this, there's no star power. The most famous actor in it is Haley Steinfeld. Yuri's in it, though. Our man Yuri, Mr. Peter Parker himself.
Silco's actor is in something I watched recently as well. And he actually came up, and I'll remind me to find out who that is.
You'll have to find it.
I think he might be in Spider-Man 2. Oh, that's it.
No. Is he in Spider-Man 2? Brilliant. Say no more.
He's in Spider-Man 2.
Say no.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to look then. I was going to look, but I won't look.
Yeah. I know. You know. Yeah. He played Scorpion.
Oh, does he? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, again, a successful show, not built on star power. So, I think it's worth a watch.
Now
let's flip the coin.
let's talk about a studio that didn't do it right.
Right. So, who is League of Legends? What studio are they developed? Who develops that?
Riot Games is the
Riot Games.
Yeah.
That's it. Have they done anything else of anything noteworthy?
I think League of Legends itself.
I mean, fair enough.
Yeah.
Like, what else do you need to make?
What do you need, really?
Oh, they did Valorant, which is actually Valorant or whatever. Isn't that a League of Legends subsidiary?
Yeah.
Valorant. I
Probably.
think, yeah. But I'm looking now, pretty much everything is LoL.
Yeah.
So then we've got Captain Laserhawk, which is a very similar kind of idea, but on a bigger scale, I guess. So they've done the Captain Laserhawk, a Blood Dragon remix. Now, Blood Dragon, for those keen gamers out there, will know it was a DLC for Ubisoft's game Far Cry 3. And Ubisoft have had massive involvement with this show. This was also a show that was announced a long time ago. I think it was 2019 it was announced, this show. And it features a lot of characters from Ubisoft's world. We've got characters from Splinter Cell, Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, Watch Dogs, Rayman, Beyond Good and Evil.
Yeah. I'm just going to say, I don't think it was announced in 2019 because it was announced at the Ubisoft thing we watched together.
No, it wasn't.
Definitely was.
He walked. I will die on this hill.
He walked on stage and he went, "We're making a TV show called Thingy."
Yeah, no, but it was not. That's not when it was announced.
Definitely was. That's when I heard of it.
It was. Yeah, that's when you first heard of it.
I was with you. I was like, "Oh, they're making an animated Ubisoft thing. Cool."
Yeah, it was announced a lot sooner than that.
Because Adi Shankar walked onto the stage. I think. Oh, the guy who plays Laserhawk walked onto the stage.
Yeah, Adi Shankar, the creator. Yeah.
Yeah. That was my first interaction with it. If it was announced way before that, then I have no idea.
The show was, Josh. The show was first unveiled by Ubisoft in October 2019. Boom.
All right, whatever.
Pretend this is a microphone. Boom. Yeah. So I was right. So it features various characters from Ubisoft's sort of universe, and I think I'd like to. I'll start this time because. You had your piece with Arcane there. If you take out the characters, right, that are from the Ubisoft universe, this is a good show, right? It's a fun action show where lots of stupid shit happens, right? And it's fun, it's exciting, it's explosive, it's a cool show. The problem is when you then chuck in the characters like Sam Fisher or Rayman, or Paige and Jade from Beyond Good and Evil.
Sarah Fisher.
Sam Fisher's from Splinter Cell. Sarah Fisher. Who else? Oh, Bullfrog. He's cool, though. That's when the problems start, right? You know, you're just shoehorning in these characters to a storyline that essentially just makes fun of all your characters. Now, the kind of premise is Captain Laserhawk is... Actually, I guess... what's really annoying is I couldn't really tell you what the premise of this show is. Like, they're trying... So, Captain Laserhawk was trying to get this device. Captain Laserhawk... What is the premise? It's very similar to the first Suicide Squad movie.
Yeah. Just
kind of...
Yeah, just before we continue with that, I just wanted to outline, this thing's been in development for 4 years. I thought it was fired out within a year. It makes me more mad that this is what we got and it's been developed for 4 years. But we'll continue. Yes, I think it was I
told you it was a very similar outlet storyline to how Arcane's journey began.
Yeah, it makes me more mad that they fighted this out and it took 4 years to make it. So no, I'm even more like frustrated that you're like 4 years, thousands of people looked at this property and everyone went, "That looks like a good idea." So I thought this was fighted out in 12 months, mate. I
mean, so it's kind of like a Suicide Squad-esque kind of vibe. A group of like mismatched heroes get like recruited out of prison to go and
Bombs
basically bring down the man, right? Yeah. It's a very, very much that kind of vibe. There's a lots of sort of
what are they doing?
I can't remember. It's not a good sign that we can't really remember what it's about. But let's talk about some of the characters that feature. So I want to talk about Rayman first. Rayman, right? He features quite heavily in this show. He was one of the posters. One of the character posters was Rayman. For those that know, I'm a massive Rayman fan, right? It is still, like we talked about this a long time ago, Rayman 2 defined a generation of console for me. So, you know, I'm a big Rayman fan, and what I find really annoying is he's a very kid-friendly character, right? He's kind of a bit goofy, but he's also hard. He's hard as hell. Like, he's got floating fists, he can knock out anyone. In this, he's a TV show host that falls off a bit. It's like a late-night TV show host. It falls off, kind of becomes a bit... Like, he downward spirals, starts snorting cocaine off of a table, and then goes on a rampage with some automatic weapons. And hookers, yeah, he's just the epitome of everything bad. And I watched it and went, initially I thought, that's quite funny. And then I went, no, it isn't at all. This isn't funny. Like, you're just disrespecting a very interesting character that comes from a very exciting world. Like, where's Glowbox? Where's all the, all the, all that stuff. Like, all the cool characters that exist in none of them are there, right? If you want him to be sort of a more adult-themed character, why is he going around with automatic weapons when he's got flying fists?
Do you know what Rayman needed? Mario treatment.
Yeah. Yes, Rayman does after that.
Rayman needs a Mario treatment. Like that
and
would
then
be
we've
perfect
got
property.
Josh's biggest gripe with this show, because I know he loves Splinter Cell, is Mr. Sam Fisher, who I don't think he's I think he's cool within the realm of what he can do in this show, but the fact that they gave him no legs and just then killed him off, but then did they actually kill him off? Because at the end, spoiler alert, he's not really dead at the end of the show, right? I don't know, Josh. I'll take the wheel.
Right. My biggest gripe with this whole thing is you shoehorn Sam Fisher into everything that's Ubisoft. It could be Ghost Recon Wildlands, it could be Breakpoint, it could be Rainbow Six Siege, where he's called Zero and he's supposed to be Sam Fisher, and yet you just won't give us a new Splinter Cell game.
I think let's hold fire on the Ubisoft. Like, let's talk about this show first.
Yeah, no, I'm circling back. I'm looping.
All right. Sorry.
What, you won't give us a Ubisoft. You won't give us a Ubisoft game. Not a Ubisoft game. A Splinter Cell game. So instead of that, and you think, you know what will get the fans pumped? We'll show a TV show where the icon for a decade, we'll say, Sam Fisher, who pretty much tentpoled your entire franchise, was the leading thing of like the Sonic of your studio, eclipsed Assassin's Creed, eclipsed everyone, that was in Ubisoft. I don't think there's been a franchise within Ubisoft that has eclipsed Splinter Cell, like in that sort of sense. You can have your Rainbow Sixes.
I would say Assassin's Creed heavily has done.
It has, but not as like iconic. Like if he was the flagship of it, like you can.
If you ask someone what Ubisoft's like poster boy is now, I guarantee most people would say Ezio more than Sam Fisher.
Oh no, he would.
Yes,
when him and Ezio were at toe to toe, it was definitely him. He was the guy.
No, he wasn't.
He was definitely.
I'm sorry. I think I know Sam. I prefer Splinter Cell to Assassin's Creed, but I think you're wrong. I think Assassin's Creed is a far more popular.
It is now because it's had more titles. And the thing is, what they decided to do, we've got like 10 Assassin's Creed games. We've got like 6 Splinter Cell games. In fact, no, we've probably got like 15 Assassin's Creed games, and like 3 more on the way. And we haven't got a single Splinter Cell game. And what they decided to do is to put our character that is amazing, a super stealthy guy, into an action set piece. First of all, my man's rolling around like Professor Xavier, in a wheelchair, dotting about with his daughter, who's weird. Okay, now I'm not bothered that his daughter is weird. I'm not bothered that his daughter's in the show. But Sam and his thing with his daughter is a baseline for the games. His daughter gets run over in one of the games. He goes off the rails. That then makes Splinter Cell Conviction, where he becomes more of a unhinged sort of hunting people down and becoming less of like patriotic American to I'm going to find this guy and kill this guy because he had something to do with the death of my daughter, and it spirals him out of control. What they did with those 2 characters in this show is a complete disrespect to them. One, you took away the man's legs, and he give him like thrusters that he like flies around on and bounces around. Yes, he's badass, and yes, he has a scene, but that's just not. It's just not right. And
yeah.
He's a stealth guy. He's infiltrating. He's doing this. He's doing that, and that's his whole ethos. And it's just not there. And then secondly, spoiler. If you've seen this, if you're going to see the show, you want to see.
We were going to spoil.
His daughter's the villain, and his daughter's some mechanical cybernetic spider. Who like she's just a whole robot, which implies, is she even his daughter? Or is she a robot, just someone else?
I think it's kind of implied that none of them are real, though, isn't it?
They're
all just variations of them, of who they're meant to be. Because none of them really die either. Like, spoiler alert: Laserhawk died, but then he's not dead. He's in the sort of virtual world
ether
now with Sam.
Yeah.
with Sam Fisher.
So yeah, that's fine, but like, I just don't get it. It's just like
it was terrible. It was a terrible adaptation because I think it's testament to kind of where we're at with Ubisoft at the moment, which is it feels like they have no respect for their own properties. Like Paige and Jade from Beyond Good and Evil, which is a fantastic game, by the way, and also Ubisoft announced the second one, and where the hell is it? That they just Jade died in the second episode and Paige died in the third episode, and I was like, why? Like, what was that about? Like, awful. And then, as much as I liked Bullfrog, like, he is a cool character, like a French frog assassin.
It was great.
Assassin. Why is Assassin's Creed character a frog?
Yeah.
What? Why? Like, I don't understand. Like, none of the characters. It felt like Ubisoft gave creative control to who made this and went, do what you want. I don't care. And do whatever you want.
And when they gave creative control, they walked into a school nearby and they went, which child do we think we should give creative control to? Oh, that one there. Who's chewing the crayons? Because it don't make no sense, because, like, if they wanted a French assassin, because Ubisoft have banged out 200 Assassin's Creed games, funny enough, there's an Assassin's Creed set in France. They could have had Arno in there, you know, as the main.
I would have thought they'd have done Ezio
100%,
or Altair.
100%. But with that creative side of it, they've gone, maybe Ezio's a bit too popular.
Because it doesn't actually make a sense. Why is it a frog?
Don't make no sense. But if they'd have put Ezio in there and gone, he's a bit too popular, we can't have him cutting the heads off hookers. That's just not how Ezio rolls. You know what I mean?
Rayman. I just think Ubisoft have been a studio for a while now that people say have been lazy. You know, a lot of their games feel very lazy. You know, they've just released Mirage, and everyone's like, "This is a fresh take on Assassin's Creed," but it's not, is it? They've essentially tried to recreate the magic the first Assassin's Creed had, which they'll never do, because at the time that was a very original concept and it was amazing. And then they did the second one and it was amazing. Everything since then, apart from Black Flag, actually, Black Flag is very good. Everything since then, but that's because Black Flag felt very unique, right? You know, you had that whole pirate element to it as well. Everything they've done since then has been shoddy. You know, even Origins, when they kind of went down a whole open world route, felt very shoddy.
I liked the Egypt one.
The Egypt one was good. Right? Origins is good, but they're not. They're not memorable. I didn't come away from that going, "That's amazing." I'll tell everyone about it. I don't think I've ever spoken about it to anyone. This might be the first time I've ever mentioned it. But, and then, you know,
Odyssey was too big.
Like I said, Odyssey. Yeah, I started playing Valhalla and couldn't get into it either.
Yeah, same. I was like still stuck in the same village. Like I hadn't even left Norway. I was like, this is just.
I wanted to get into it because I wanted a big, exciting Viking game to play. Yeah. And then obviously there's God of War anyway. So why would you rather play that? But I just think with everything else, like, Rayman, and Beyond Good and Evil, and Splinter Cell, and they've just done a huge disservice to these characters. And like, you know, how are you going to promote these characters which sort of pioneer your studio, that are your cool characters? Like Rayman was your poster boy for a long time, right? And you know, and then try and market them in new properties as something serious, because all you've done is just make them the butt of the joke for everything. You know, I don't think Ubisoft are a respectable studio. They are sitting on some of the most exciting IPs and are wasting them.
Speaking of wasting them, I'm going to circle back to the games, because this is horrendously frustrating for me. So, Tyler, like myself, is a huge MGS fan. No, he's not.
He's not at all.
He's not at all. But this leads me back. The last time we had an MGS game was from Konami, from Hideo Kojima, was when Metal Gear Solid: The Phantom Pain came out.
Was it Konami, or was that not the first game he did away from Konami?
No, he was still with Konami.
Or was it the last game
did with
Konami?
Last game, that's when they fell out, because it's half baked. There's a few things that's missing at the end, but for the majority, most of the game's there.
A lot of people hold that game in high regard, though.
It is, but it's not finished. Like
No.
there's a few missions that are still needs to be added, and things that like threads that are not like. It just sort of got. This is where we've got to take it, and you know, it was pretty much 90% done, but it was still well regarded. Still very much, you know, very detailed, very amazing open world. You know, really really good, awesome stealth action game. I don't remember when that came out, but I would say
2015.
2015. So we are 2023, so that is 8 years. I would assume. Yeah, that's 8 years. I'm good with math in my head then. 8 years.
Well done.
Thank you. Yeah, long day. And in those 8 years, we could have had 2 Splinter Cell games. And instead, they bashed out Sam Fisher into every property known to man that nobody cared about.
Bar Splinter Cell.
Bar Splinter Cell, and then they dropped this, and this was really the final straw for me. And yes, there is a remake coming, and yes, whether that comes to fruition or not, I've seen screenshots. I'm like, oh, that looks really exciting. But looking at paper and seeing the game in my hand and being able to play it is 2 very different things.
I mean, they announced Beyond Good and Evil about 10 years ago.
Yes.
No, not that long. No, not that long. About 6-7 years ago.
And the reason why I bring this up and why this is such an annoying subject for me is because recently they dropped the gameplay footage for Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta Snake Eater. Stupid name. But man, did that look good. Like, did I look at that and go, that's going to scratch my stealth action itch? And all I want is for Ubisoft to go, we can do that, and we can do that well, and just and have some respect for their characters.
But they can't do that, right? They can't. Ubisoft's biggest problem, right? The biggest problem with them is they just have. They seem to acquire such amazing properties and execute them poorly, and you know they're bringing out a Star Wars game, which I think we're both nervous about, right?
I won't play it until the reviews come out.
I will play it because I'm.
It won't be a day one thing for me because I know it'll just be like.
It definitely will be for me.
I just feel like it's going to be like, oh, you've got to do this, and here's microtransactions for this, and if you want to get another skin for your axolotl thing.
Watchtower. Like it'll be a lot of that. I think I will play it because I'm a Star Wars fan, but it makes me nervous, and I think Ubisoft. I don't know what their problem is. I don't know why they won't just make a good game. Just take the time to make. I can't tell you the last time Ubisoft made a game that made me go, that is fantastic.
They haven't. Like, I played Watch Dogs 2.
For a long time.
It bored me.
I think Assassin's Creed Black Flag might be the last time for me that they made a game that I went, that's bang on, that, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely smash out of the park. What they need to do is sell off some of their properties. Let some other studio pick it up. Imagine the Splinter Cell being done by somebody else. Who could you see doing it?
What, hypothetically?
Someone like Rocksteady would be good.
Clearly
know how to...
Yeah, or... I mean, the dream would be like Naughty Dog or... like...
Naughty Dog probably would be the best bet, really.
Do I want to say Rockstar? Because they can make a very tight...
Nah, I don't think Rockstar are the people to do it.
Over like Max Payne?
Rockstar make a lot... Yes, they make some great games, but they're all very satirical. Like, Red Dead is a satirical version of the Wild West, right? That's kind of what Rockstar do. And I think Splinter Cell is kind of serious.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I want a studio that can give that love and care, put that money into it, and it shows on screen. I want to be able to sort of like... When Splinter Cell 1 came out and you walked between the blinds that have the little slats in and there's light coming through, on the old Xbox, mate, that blew my tiny mind. Like, and you'd shoot a fish tank in the third one, or not even the first one, you'd shoot a fish tank and the water would drip out of the bullet hole to that point, and nothing ever. And we've seen entire open worlds of the Wild West. We've seen mud on the back of wheels. We've seen horse balls shrink in the snow on Red Dead. We've seen anything. Have I ever seen anything as cool as shooting a fish tank in an office and watching the water drip to that point and then stop? No, I haven't. Like, I've seen some great stuff, mate, and I've seen some great things in video games, but that's it.
I think the takeaway from all of this is Ubisoft were given an opportunity with this show. I think they blew it.
100%.
I don't think it's clearly a testament to kind of where Ubisoft are at. They don't seem to take themselves or the things that they own seriously, and I think for the sake of these beloved properties, they need to find a new home. Because I want Beyond Good and Evil 2. I want a new Rayman game. I'm not going to get them. As soon as Rayman announced the Raving Rabbids, I was like, I knew it was over. I knew Rayman is done. Right? Rayman deserves, like Josh said, the Mario treatment or even the Sonic treatment at this point. Right? You know, Rayman is a cool character. I love him. Right? Give him the platform he deserves. Give all of those characters the platform they deserve. Splinter Cell deserves another chance. Just give it all of them. Yeah. So if you want a good show that is an adaptation of a video game where the creators clearly care about it, watch Arcane. If you just want to watch a mindless action show, I do recommend Laserhawk in that regard. Just don't care about the characters too much, like me and Josh do. Josh, I know it's actually meant to be my turn for a recommendation this week for CNC, but you said you had one, so why don't you take it away?
I did, and it's in the vein of the new Alan Wake game that came out. I really want to play that because it is very much a sort of...
I saw a review about Alan Wake 2 that said that it's the answer to PT.
There we go.
It's Alan Wake 2 seems to be what PT could have been.
Yeah. So for me, I didn't like the first one that much. I thought it was very clunky, but this looks like money. Like, this looks like Remedy in their stride. And because of that, I thought I would say for our listeners that they should revisit some of the classics, and that would be Max Payne 1 and 2.
Even 3 to be fair.
Well, 3's Rockstar, but definitely 1 and 2.
One is one of the most amazing games I've ever played. And it's also got one of the most harrowing experiences in a video game I've ever seen. That game is terrifying, but also fantastic. The bit where he's going through his dream and all you can hear is the baby and the wife crying, genuinely, to this day, still gives me, like, that would give me nightmares still. It used to give me horrible nightmares, that level, but it is amazing.
So they are in full production. It's been announced recently that Max Payne 1 and 2 are getting the remake treatment, which is phenomenal. But yeah,
I can't wait for that.
I definitely think that people should play it. It's a detective noir story. It's it's amazing. It was so well done the first two times that when it came to making a sequel, Rockstar said we'll do it, and they made Max Payne 3, and they completely smashed it out of the park.
And they actually smashed it.
It is.
I think the only thing I would say about the third one with Rockstar, it doesn't feel noir-esque like the first.
Oh yeah, because he's in Brazil. Yeah.
Yeah, the story, and obviously he's all like wearing like fluorescent shirts and stuff like that. Like, but the first, oh my god! I mean, they're all good. They're really good games. So,
but the new one's got like, it's got like better graphics and it's got like Rockstar treatment. But where its roots came from was the first ones were very much of their time. And
I do not know how ready I am to see that. Yeah. I don't know how ready I am to see a remake of that level.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know. It terrifies me, man. Honestly, I don't know what bit about it scares me the most. The fact that you're following a path of blood, or it's just his wife crying.
Yeah.
And because you know what happens to them, it's terrifying. It actually breaks my heart as well.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Amazing shout. So Max Payne 1 and 2. I don't even know where you can find them. Can you play them are they on Game Pass? Are they on PS Plus? Where can we play the first 2 Max Payne games?
I know they're definitely on Steam, but I'm sure they are on Xbox. But
let's have a look.
I definitely can if you can check them out, or you know what, go buy yourself an old Xbox and just play them. There'll be some way you can play them.
PlayStation.
Oh, PlayStation, yeah. There's definitely.
Don't go and get it. Don't go and get an Xbox. We're PlayStation fans.
Get PlayStation.
Even though I have one. Yeah, I think you can get them. They're on backward compatibility, so I think you can get them on your latest consoles, everybody. So yeah,
enjoy.